Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Maria. This is the very first video that I'm recording for my YouTube channel of Running with Sol, hopefully first of many. And the reason why I chose Running with Sol for my name, and you can follow me on Instagram, I'll drop the link as well, so stay tuned. It's because Soledad is my middle name, so I want it to be Running with Sol. Some people call me Sole, other people call me Sol. You'll see it spelled out S-O-L-E. Anyways, I wanted to bring you along with me on this journey that I'm going on for running. I have never been a long distance runner. I've always been a sprinter, did some track in high school, but focused more on strength training and did indoor cycling, yoga, Pilates, this HIIT classes, boxing. I love to do it all. But truly, I found a lot of love and clarity with running. And that's something that I want to share with you all because I didn't start off loving running. I could barely run 3 miles, Same with 5 miles. 5 miles seemed unbearable to me. I started running a lot of 5 miles during COVID, and I really had to push myself because sometimes I didn't want to do it. But then I found that it brought me more peace and I was able to declutter my mind, almost like let the steam out and filter my thoughts. So that was super helpful. Took some time off afterwards. And then when I moved out to Texas, I started running again. And I first started with walking, started again with 3 miles, and then slowly started re-upping it. And my 30th birthday was last year, August 2023, because 2024, I turned 31. I told myself that I wanted to run a marathon prior to my 30th birthday. Obviously, it didn't happen because I wasn't fully prepped, and that's another thing too. You gotta be prepped. You don't want to go in it blindly. I'm sure there are people that do it. Kudos to them, respect, because it takes a lot of endurance, a lot of resilience, and a lot of practice, not just body, but mental as well. But it's very rewarding and you get really uplifted with everyone's energy and the support, which I will go more into detail because there's nothing like it, truly nothing like it. So anyways, I started to train last year to run the Austin half marathon in 2023. Oh my God, no, that's 2024. Wait, that's earlier this year. Don't let me confuse you because I'm confusing myself. Anyways, yes, I wanted to run a marathon. That's what it is. I wanted to run a marathon at the age of 30. So I signed up for the Austin Marathon 2024. Happened February 18th, 2024. There we go. Dates. Probably should have written them down. Anyways, we're just winging this. So did that. I did the half marathon. I trained for that instead of the full marathon because I feel like that was a little bit too ambitious and I wasn't giving myself the proper amount of time to fully train for a full marathon, and I wanted to prevent injuries. I didn't want to go so overexert myself and potentially burn myself out and not want to continue running. But anyways, we're all different. Do what's best for you. So I trained for the half marathon. Unfortunately, that day I was probably second or third day of getting over a cold. So I wasn't running at the best of my ability, but we still got it done. And it was just a beautiful experience. If you haven't ran the Austin Marathon, I highly encourage it. The energy's there, the people's there, the love is there, and the support's there. So yeah, I ran that. I finished. And I was actually really surprised with myself because usually my average mile is between 9 to 9:30. Obviously, some are a little bit slower, some are quicker, depending the energy levels that I'm at. What I wore for that half marathon was just a running belt with 2 little water bottles with electrolytes in them. I did have a little energy waffle beforehand and a banana. I'm just not a big eater before a big run, but just something to help with potassium and get some energy into my body. That's something that I'm learning too, which this is what I'm excited for because there's some people that are very well experienced. I'm learning, so maybe this we can learn together. So yeah, that's what I did. I walked around, got myself warmed up. I also just wanted to calm my nerves because the night before I couldn't sleep. I was feeling really anxious, thinking I was gonna oversleep and not make it to the starting line. Anyways, I finished the marathon in a little under 2 hours, which I was really surprised with myself because I thought it was going to take me a bit longer. But at the end of the marathon, my lungs felt like they were on fire. It felt like someone just lit a match. But anyways, we got to celebrate with friends, and it was a very huge accomplishment for me because I've never ran 13.2 miles, or 13.1 miles. Sorry, had to correct myself. And forever, honestly. So I cried because I did that, and I was also so happy about everyone else that accomplished that goal that they set for themselves, So that was that. But I still wanted to complete a full marathon. So I told myself, we're going to get it done this year, 2024. And one of my friends told me that they're running the Long Beach Marathon. I was going to be in California during that time. I looked it up and I was like, all right, we're doing this. Signed up for the Long Beach 2024 full marathon. And that took place on October 6th on a Sunday. I might have to correct myself later, but I'm pretty sure October 6th fell on a Sunday. So let me verify that real quick, but I'm pretty sure it did. I should remember, right? Wasn't that long ago? Yep, I was correct. Anyways, signed up for that, and obviously I was already prepping prior to the Long Beach Marathon because I already knew I was going to do a marathon this year. So after taking a week off after my half marathon because I couldn't walk, I decided to go on a long walk the day after. I decided to drink right after the half marathon because I was so excited and just wanted to celebrate and just didn't get enough rest that the next day I was just couch ridden and I could not move at all. But yeah, so I learned from that too. You learn from your experiences. So anyways, started training. For the full marathon and the half marathon, I was using Running with Hal, and it helped because it helped keep me kind of accountable with the days to run. You just put in I didn't ever purchase the premium version. I just did the free plan, so I don't know what the premium version really entails. But the free one worked for me. It did its job. I will say this though, even for my full marathon, I was training as far as running, but I neglected strength training. We're going to get into that too because you don't want to neglect strength training, and you don't want to neglect recovery, stretching, foam rolling, all those things, hydration, sleep, everything super important because it all just ties in together for protecting yourself from an injury, Anyways, so that happened. Fast forward, and I'm not gonna lie, there were some days I skipped out on running because I was tired, or as girls, we get our period. Sometimes it just gets the best of us, and that's something that I'm trying to learn too. What I started telling myself, it's you might have a period the day of the marathon, or you're gonna probably be feeling the symptoms during that time. It's gonna be one or the other. You just never know. So we try to plan around it, but sometimes you just don't know, and sometimes you want to do things even when that's happening, so you kind of have to train through it. And I will say this too, there was moments where my breasts were really tender and it would hurt when I would run, so I just wore extra supported bras, and that did help a little bit, but you just kind of push through it, But obviously listen to your body. Don't overexert yourself. If you need to give yourself the time to rest, just readjust your training plan. You know your body best. Do what works for you. So, okay, now we go home. We're in California. I'm still training. I stopped drinking a month prior to the marathon. That's just something I choose to do. I'm not a heavy drinker, but even if it's just a glass or so, my cat's trying to come into the video. Maybe she'll make it, maybe she won't. We'll find out in a little bit. I just recommend not drinking personally for me because it just really limits the recovery time. I don't get good sleep if I drink. I wake up hungover the next day, even if it's just like a glass or two. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's age. Who knows? But my body can't metabolize it as well as it used to. Maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know. But so I like just cut out alcohol from that. I'm also, but even prior to that, I'm very like, not like strategic, that's not what I'm trying to look for, but I'm just very strict with like, okay, I gotta hydrate, I have to make sure I'm drinking my electrolytes, how much protein am I taking. So I was doing all that. Again, I've never trained full marathons, so my body was kind of in shock too when I was like hitting those like long distance miles, 15, 16, 18, 20, and my body was taking a little bit longer to bounce back. So that's another reason why there was like some interruptions during training, for me at least. Everyone's experience is very different. So get to Long Beach the day prior. Stayed in downtown Long Beach with a couple of my friends. Shout out to Debbie, because she has been here for my first half and for my first full marathon, and she's number one fan. Shout out. And we stayed there, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I have to show you. Well, I don't have a picture. Oh, I do have a picture. I'll have to add it in later. But she made the Team Maria hoodies for her and one of our other friends at Jojo for the half marathon, and she meant to bring them for the full, but there were so many things going on, and thankfully for her, she's the one who like put everything together for the hotel and all to like stay downtown, and just to kind of like take the stress off. So I'm forever appreciative of Debbie Debs. And like other friends from back home came to watch me, and same with my parents. It was my friend Debbie was there, Chandler was there, Alexis was there, Summer was there, and then my other friend Ivy was there. And so was my mom and my dad. My sister had a game in San Francisco, and she got to play, and they won, so that was fantastic. It was like we were both winning that day, you know? We all win together. We stay winning. But anyways, so the day, and then my friend Jasmine came the day before the marathon to come and support too. And but I also felt all the love via texts and phone calls, so I'm just like super appreciative of the community that I have around me. Community is important. We'll get into that later again. But anyways, so trained up until then, was running. One thing that happened that, again, do not neglect strength training. Strength training is so important. Same with stretching and foam rolling and warming up, but also rest. I went like full throttle when I got back home. I was running, I was hiking, I was walking, I was just doing everything and anything, you know, to like spend time with family, to spend time with friends, but also make sure that I'm not falling back on my training. But that meant that I was overexerting my muscles, and they were just not getting enough recovery time, which ended up backfiring on me. But so my calf started hurting a week prior to the marathon. It was my right calf that started hurting, and it was so tight, so I just iced it for like that week prior to the marathon, elevated it, rested it, didn't do any running whatsoever. I was just like walking around. I did dance one time because my friend and I, Karina and I, and baby Gotti, no, she's not a baby no more, but she'll always be a baby in our eyes. We went to the Lemon Festival in Goleta, and there was just good music. And when there's good music, it doesn't matter how much pain you're in, you're gonna dance. You're gonna dance. Anyways, we had a good time. I don't regret it. And so then that happened, but again, continued icing my calf, and you know, my dad was like, you're not gonna run, you should just stop, just take the time to recover. Excuse me. And I said, we do not need this negativity, okay? We are gonna run, even if I'm like wobbling towards the finish line, but we're running this thing. Of course, if it's really big injury and like I honestly couldn't have like pushed through it, I wouldn't have ran it, because I'm not trying to end up injuring other parts of my body or putting myself at risk of other things. So that happened. So I know I was like a DJ. I went to Long Beach, went back to the week prior. Anyways, fast forward, we're in Long Beach. The day prior of the marathon, I'm just like, even not just the day prior, but like a week prior, I'm like carb loading, drinking lots of water, electrolytes, just like doing all that stuff. And Saturday, again, just like making sure I'm not, even the day prior to, I'm making sure I'm not eating anything that's going to upset my stomach or that can potentially upset my stomach the morning of. So I'm like really cautious on the things that I'm eating. And I'm hydrating a lot as well, eating my bananas and drinking my electrolytes, my water, the carbs, the protein, the veggies, all that good stuff. And I got myself some waffles, but I didn't eat them in the morning. But it's okay. I had a banana and like a Cliff Bar or something. I can't remember what exactly it was. Pretty sure it's a Cliff Bar though, chocolate chip. So yeah, so that happened, and went to sleep like around 9. But again, the night before a big event, I can't really sleep. I would say I probably got like a solid 4 hours of sleep, just enough. It was like good REM sleep. Woke up in the morning, got ready, similar hairstyle, and just put on some mascara. Gotta have the hoops on, my necklace, put my Garmin watch on, and I had everything prepped the night before with like my vest, my clothes, my bib, everything. Gotta prep the day before. That's super important. Sets you up for success. Making sure everything's charged, because I did use headphones. Will I use it next time? Probably, yeah. Maybe get some like shocks so they're not in my ear. So yeah, Sunday came, and again, I already know exactly what I'm going to listen to the morning of the marathon, so I'm not like trying to figure out what I'm going to listen to that day. So yeah, I walked to the starting line. It was like a 5-minute walk. The marathon started a little bit later. There was a bit of a delay just because, police had to make sure all the areas were blocked off, and a lot of people have to come together to make sure the safety is there for all the runners and for the people and the volunteers and everyone there. People watching, the volunteers, people running, and everyone. It's a whole team. So if we have to wait for them to secure the areas, then we're going to wait, because no one should ever get hurt. So anyways, we start the run, and it's so much fun. And I was like, all right, we are doing this. We are in it, let's get this 26.2 miles completed. And so we're running, and as soon as we're running, probably about like mile 4 or 5, I start feeling the pain again, because I didn't feel fully 100, but I definitely didn't feel like the way I felt the week prior. My right calf started to feel a little bit of pain. Didn't think much of it. My left hamstring came out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, it's going to be that type of run right now. Not thinking much of it. And I hit mile 8, and my right calf just really tightens up, and I was like, all right, please just like let this one just like go through. But then we hit mile 9, my left calf cramps up too, really tight, to the point where I couldn't even extend my legs anymore. Like they were just kind of locked, and it felt like something was going to tear. So I had to pull over to the side to stretch out, just give myself some time, because those cramps were not going away, and I wasn't even halfway through the marathon yet. I was feeling a little bit defeated because I knew I had my family and friends waiting for me at the finish line, but also I wanted to make sure that I completed this. I trained for this as best as I could. I now know what to do and what not to do. We're always improving, always room for improvement. But yeah, so I was like getting a little bit in my head, but I was like, no, we gotta like reverse it back. And I started thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, just imagine the cramps leaving your body, just like making its way down through your calves, all the way down to your feet, and releasing it into the ground. It was sort of working, but then I really just started to pray. I started to pray like so much more. I was like, God, please just like get me through this marathon, please. Like I know I'm in a lot of pain, but so are many others, and we're all doing this together. But please just help me get through this. Like, I can't do this alone. I can't. Like, I need your help. I need your strength. I need your courage. And I was like, let's do this. And I kid you not, as soon as I was finished praying, as I was running, like trying to just like slowly push the pain, get myself kind of like in that momentum again, this stranger, this man, like an angel on earth comes up to me like on my left out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, keep up with me. I kid you not, I was trying to contain my tears because I'm like, that's going to start affecting my breathing. So I was like, do not cry right now. I'm just like, hold them back. You can cry later. Smile now, cry later. Yeah, he's like, keep up with me. So I kept up with him. And if it wasn't for him, I would have not maintained the pace that I had with him. He helped me for like a solid 7 miles, just like good place, good momentum. I would fall back a little bit. He's like, no, come on, come on. And it just like, he really helped me more than I could ever express. We would stop sometimes to like get some biofreeze on our calves because he was also cramping. So I think he saw me cramping, and I know I saw him once cramping. But again, I've never, this is all like a new community to me. But yeah, and towards the end of like the 7 miles that he and I ran together, like I was keeping up like a pretty good pace. And then he tapered off because his pain was, I think, getting like unmanageable, and he just told me to continue going because he didn't want me to stop since he saw that I had good momentum going. And I continued going. I thanked him, and I'm like still going, keeping my like momentum up and whatnot. And then this other guy comes up to me. He's like, all right, like we got this. And it was just crazy. Like there's just so much support all around, not just like the people that were coming up to me, but the people around supporting the runners, and like the messages that they were saying, and just saying like, you got this, you're strong, like, you know, it took a lot for you to be here, like don't give up on yourself. And it's just really inspiring. And just seeing every different types of people, they're just like showing up for themselves, and that's what makes my heart really happy, just seeing everyone just doing the best that they can with what they can, and just showing up and crushing the goal that they set for themselves, you know? That makes me so happy. And so that happened, and I want to say at like mile 23 or so, mile 23, mile 24 was definitely towards the end. My legs were definitely fatigued. My posture was awful. Like my back was hurting. It's also because I was leaning forward too much. I didn't have a strong core. Another thing too, core is so important for running too, and your like posture, and so is like your form. Everything is just like a chain, you know? If one thing's off, everything else is affected. Anyways, so that happened, but he ended up, I was like, I cannot keep up with you. Like, I'm trying my best, but I cannot. I was like, you finish the goal that you got. Thank you so much. I will finish when I'm there. And I was trying to finish with like the 4:20 crew, but I ended up tripping and I caught myself. But the way that I tripped and caught myself, it triggered my right calf pain way worse than it had ever felt. And that's when I was just limping towards like the end of the finish line. And I was upset. I was mad because I'm like, you were so close, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. I told myself I wanted to finish the marathon under 4:30. I finished it 4:29. So a win's a win. Could I have done better? Possibly, but that was like really good for me, and I was really proud, especially with all the challenges and like obstacles I had to encounter. I was more proud and just felt so accomplished of like, wow, I could really do anything I set my mind to, you know, and so can you. And it's gonna look different, it's gonna feel different, but like there's just really no limits of what we're capable of doing. And what also brought me so much joy is just like all the support of people, and like humanity is also kind, you know? And I think it just shows that like love and kindness go such a long way, and so to support, even if sometimes it feels like if I help this person, it's going to take me off track. It really is not. Like those 10 minutes, you don't even know the lesson that you can learn for yourself, you know? So I know in my next race, I want to be able to give back in different ways that I can, you know? And I was just really inspired. I'm really inspired. I was really inspired. I continue to be inspired by the running community and just like connecting with people online and running with one of my friends now here in Austin. And it's just a really beautiful way to connect and stay healthy, you know? And I still run on my own. Saturdays are a long distance run with my friend and we get to chat and catch up and get a coffee or a smoothie after. But it's just a beautiful way to enjoy life, you know? And it just puts me in a better headspace. Like, running does make me happy. And it doesn't need to be a long distance for you to feel the same. You can do a mile, you can do 2 miles, you can do half a mile. I always say start small and then go big. You don't ever want to go too big and then let it feel so daunting and you not want to go back. Just start with a walk, jog, whatever it is. Just get your body moving. And that is something that I always tell myself. I'm like, this is such a privilege to be able to get my body to move and to go on a run and to just do these incredible things. I think it's one great thing having a strong body, but I think it's so important to have a strong mind and a soft heart and just being able to be you, you know, and enjoy this beautiful life. But with that being said, things that I learned. Now I'm using the Run app. So many people told me about the Run app. Again, all these things that I'm mentioning, not sponsored, just things that I specifically love and have enjoyed and have worked for me. I use Run app. The first week is free. After that, you pay. I think it's like $20 a month, 21, almost $22 a month. But I will say this, it is great. I don't know, I haven't used it for other marathons, but I know the Austin Marathon has a few hills there. So during the week, it's like shorter runs right now because it's like the beginning. I'm on week 4. So we do like rolling hills. So like you run quick for half a mile, then you walk, and then the next week you'll run during the week. Like you'll run really fast for a quarter of a mile, and then you'll do like conversational pace after, and then you'll pick it back up. And usually those are like 4 to 9 rounds depending on the day of what the app is telling you to do. Then you'll do like conversational pace, whether you want to do that on the street or on the road. Or on the treadmill. It'll give you both options of like what pace to maintain on the treadmill versus like on the road or outside. And then on the weekends, because you have to choose one day to do a long distance, I like to do the weekend, do what's best for your schedule. That's usually on Saturday for me because Sundays I like to go to church. And yeah, so I do my long distance on Saturdays, and I'll tell you too, the pace to maintain. It also incorporates strength training too, which I definitely do. You can follow along what the app shows you. Sometimes I'll do what it tells me, but I already know what I like to do for strength training. And also mobility workouts are super important, and plyometrics too. So definitely get into the habit of incorporating that into your workout routine. Make the time for it, because if you don't do that, running is not going to be enjoyable, and you're going to put yourself at more risk for injuries. Also hydrate, get plenty of sleep. And for hydration, currently I've been using, what is the one I've been using? Because I don't even have it in front of me right now. I was going to say Element, but it's not Element. I have tried it. It's tasty. I don't even know what it's called right now. Let me see, because I am spacing out. Let me see. Electrolytes powder, and it's gonna like be like, oh my goodness, of course, how did I not know this? Let me go to my Amazon. Actually, I need to order some, so it's probably a good thing that I'm gonna go on here. All right, once I see it, I'm just gonna bang my little head softly. Oh my god, Drip Drop. I was gonna say Lo-Fi, but it's called Drip Drop. Highly recommend Drip Drop. Again, not sponsored, just my preference. You can also make your own, which I'm actually considering doing, so I can better manage like the quantity of the things going in there. But anyways, so that's what I really recommend doing. Sauna, if you can, sauna. If you can't, that's okay. Foam roll, that's going to be your best friend. Also, make sure you work out your calves too, and strengthen your core. You want to strengthen your core. You do not want to neglect your core, and really learn more about your running posture. Make sure you have good shoes too. If you're able to, go to a store, see how you land when you're running so they can provide you with the best shoes. Because ideally, I was going to buy On Clouds, but when I went to the running store, I ended up getting Saucony's, which work so much better for my feet because I have pretty wide feet. and they just have more room, and it just felt like I was rocking in a boat. So that's great for my feet. I'm probably going to try other ones just to see, give them a shot. But if not, I'll go back to Saucony's. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And yeah, that's about it. I just have fun, and I hope you got something out of this, and I look forward to sharing more of my journey with you. I'll drop my Instagram. My Instagram has a bit of both, my life, but also running. And I'm not a person that records myself while I run. Maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't, but I more so just want to share my experience with you, and I'll create videos of like my running experiences that I've done in the past, like my half marathon, my full marathon. Oh yeah, what am I doing right now that I completed the full marathon? My next goal is to qualify for the Boston Marathon. I know that's very ambitious because I have to complete it in 3 hours and 25 minutes. That's a big push. Usually you have to build up over time. So I just want to make sure I finish it in 3 hours and 45 minutes. That is my goal. Maybe I'll surprise myself and somehow cut that down with another 20 minutes. But I'm going to run the full Austin Marathon on February 18th, 2025. If you're out here, come check it out. And I also put myself into the lottery for the Berlin Marathon, April 2025. So what I want to accomplish, what I will accomplish, and however long that takes, because I know people have waited many years to accomplish this, is the now known as the 7 majors, since they added Australia to it, but back then it was known recently, not that long ago, as the 6 majors. So I'm going to be running all over the world. That is the goal. That is the plan. So yeah, we'll see if we qualify for the Boston Marathon. If not, I definitely want to qualify for the New York or Chicago. We're going to see. We're going to be running all over the U.S. and all over the world. So come join me, and I hope to see you at one of those races. Bye.